Have you ever had to make a life-changing decision for a complete stranger? I was sitting at my local Starbucks when my phone buzzed with a wedding dress photo and 67 unread messages. "You have my phone!" the text screamed. I looked at the phone in my hands and realized this phone wasn't mine. The case was rose gold. Mine was black. The woman texting me had accidentally taken my phone and left her phone here on the table. "I'm getting married in 3 hours," her texts continued. "My ex Kyle just posted that he's coming to object. Please just handle him. I can't stop him without my phone." My heart was pounding as I struggled to comprehend. "Why can't we just meet so I can give you back your phone?" I typed back to her through my MacBook. "Because I'm 4 hours away. I left the city at 5 a.m. for the venue. There's no time. Kyle will ruin everything. Please." Against every rational thought, I unlocked her phone. The screen instantly exploded with notifications. Wedding party group chat. "Where are you, Sky? Kyle just posted he's driving here. Should we tell Josh?" Josh, the groom. He texted 15 times. Sky texted me again. "Kyle is my ex-fiancé. He cheated. If Josh finds out Kyle is coming, there will be a fight. They have history. Baseball bats, history." Her mom's text popped up. "Sky, where the hell are you? The makeup artist is waiting." I immediately texted Sky, telling her to text everyone off my phone and explain the situation. "I can't," she said. "Why not?" "Because I don't have anyone's phone number memorized." I stared in shock. "How do you not have anyone's number memorized? Why would I ever need to memorize a phone number?" I was hardcore panicking. This stranger was relying on me. What should I do? I asked her. "Be me." I stared at the message for a full 5 minutes, but finally, I became Sky. I texted everyone back. "Sorry, Mom. Getting hair done. Phone was on silent. Everything's perfect." The maid of honor was next. "Just saw Kyle's story," I replied. "Not letting him ruin today. Security knows." Sky's notes app was open. Things to say if Kyle shows up. List after list of prepared responses. She'd been expecting this. The wedding planner texted, "Final confirmation on the special surprise?" What special surprise? I scrolled through previous texts and found nothing. "Yes, confirmed," I replied, hoping that was right. Josh texted again. "You sound weird." "Are you okay?" I was sweating. "Just pre-wedding jitters. Can't wait to marry you." Heart emoji, kiss emoji, ring emoji. The wedding party group chat lit up. Someone had added Kyle and was sending old photos of him and Sky. I scrambled to delete them from the group before Josh saw. Sky's dad called me. I let it go to voicemail at first, but he called again and again. "Hey, Dad," I finally answered, trying to sound bride-like. "Princess, just wanted to hear your voice before you walked down that aisle. Remember when you were 5 and said you'd marry your stuffed elephant?" I made agreeing sounds while he cried about his little girl growing up. "Love you too, Dad." I hung up before he could notice while Kyle posted again, 1 hour away. Almost time to tell some truths. The bridesmaids were panicking. Should we bring a knife? What if he objects during the ceremony? Remember what he did at Katie's engagement party? I needed a plan. I Googled Kyle's name and found his LinkedIn. Senior account manager at Gain Financial. I created a fake email and sent a company-wide message from IT support about a critical server breach requiring all senior staff immediately. Then I texted the wedding party a screenshot. "Look what I just did. He has to turn around." The relief was instant. "Thank God." "Sky, you're so smart." The wedding started in 90 minutes. Everything seemed handled. I was managing final confirmations. DJ wanted the first dance song. "Perfect," by Ed Sheeran, I guessed, picking the most wedding-ish song I knew. Sky's sister texted, "You sound different today. Sure you're okay?" "Just emotional. Wedding day and all." The photographer needed Sky for pre-ceremony photos. I stalled. The makeup artist was texting about being stood up. I said there was a miscommunication. She wasn't needed. Flower girl's mom asking about the pedal-throwing rehearsal. Ring bearer wanting to know when to arrive. Josh's mom complaining about table arrangements. Then everything shattered. Bridal party group chat exploded. "Guys, Kyle just pulled into the parking lot." My fake emergency hadn't worked. "He's walking toward the venue." Josh. "Sky, where are you?" "Kyle is here." Sky's mom. "Security can't find him. He slipped inside somewhere." Maid of honor. "He's asking guests where you are." Best man. "Josh is about to lose it. He's looking for a baseball bat." I looked at Google Maps. The venue was 3 hours away. The wedding was starting in 20 minutes. Kyle was there. Josh was armed. Her phone rang. Josh. "Sky, where are you? Tell me you're in the building." I couldn't fake this conversation. I hung up without a word. Kyle posted one last video from inside the venue. "About to give the happy couple my wedding gift." The keys were in my hand. 3 hours if I drove like hell. I had a decision to make. I'm already on the highway doing 80. My hands shake on the wheel as Sky's phone buzzes nonstop in the cup holder. The wedding party chat explodes with messages about Kyle walking around the venue, asking everyone where the bride is. Josh texts again demanding to know where Sky is. Her mom texts asking why she hasn't seen her daughter yet. I prop my laptop on the passenger seat and use my phone's hotspot to stay connected. Sky messages me through my laptop saying Kyle just posted another video from inside the venue. I watch it while trying to keep my eyes on the road. Kyle is filming himself in what looks like a fancy lobby with chandeliers. He's saying something about truth and mistakes and not staying silent. I realize driving there isn't enough. I need to do something right now before this explodes. I pull off at the next exit and screech into a gas station. I grab my laptop and Sky's phone and run inside. The guy behind the counter stares at me, but I ignore him. I find a corner near the coffee machine and pull up the venue's website on my laptop. There's a phone number for events. I dial it using Sky's phone. A woman answers on the third ring. She sounds stressed and busy. I take a breath and lie. I tell her I'm calling on behalf of the bride as her day of coordinator. The woman says her name is Brianna, and she's the wedding planner. I explain we have a security concern. An uninvited ex has made threatening social media posts about disrupting the ceremony, and he's currently at the venue. Brianna's voice shifts from annoyed to alert. She asks me to hold. I hear her talking to someone in the background. She comes back and says she's looping in Sterling, the head of security. A man's voice joins the call asking what's going on. I repeat everything about Kyle. Sterling asks if I can send him photos and vehicle information. I open Sky's Instagram while staying on the call. I find Kyle's profile in her followers. I screenshot his profile picture showing his face clearly. I scroll through Sky's photos and find one from months ago where Kyle's car is visible in the background. It's a dark blue sedan. I send both screenshots to the number Sterling gives me. I explain the baseball bat history between Kyle and Josh. I tell him this could turn violent fast if they see each other. Sterling confirms he received the photos. He says Kyle is currently in the main lobby talking to guests. He's going to approach Kyle to verify his invitation status as a soft way to check him out. I stay on the line listening. I hear Sterling's radio crackle as he talks to his team. I hear footsteps and voices getting louder. Then I hear Sterling's voice in person, not through the phone. He's asking someone if he can help them find their seat. A different voice responds. It's defensive and annoyed. The voice says he's a concerned friend who needs to speak with the bride. Sterling asks to see his invitation. The voice gets more defensive, saying he doesn't need an invitation to stop a mistake. I hear Sterling radio for backup. I jump in and suggest they call local police for a preventive presence. I explain the documented threats and history of violence. Brianna agrees immediately. Sterling says he'll make the call. I hear more radio chatter about positioning and exits. Then Brianna tells me to hold again. I pace in the gas station corner while waiting. The guy behind the counter keeps staring. I must look insane. Brianna comes back and says she's connecting me with Camden, the maid of honor. She says Camden has been texting Sky frantically. A new voice joins the call. She sounds young and panicked. She asks who I am and where Sky is. I make a split-second decision to tell the truth. I explain the phone swap at Starbucks. I tell her I've been pretending to be Sky all morning. I say I'm trying to help manage this crisis from the road. Camden is silent for a second. Then she asks how she knows I'm telling the truth. I prove it by reciting messages from the wedding party group chat that only someone with Sky's phone would know. I mention the deleted photos of Kyle that someone tried to add earlier. Camden's voice softens. She says Sky is actually at the venue hiding in a back room getting ready. She's been using a bridesmaid's phone to text me, but can't contact everyone else without her actual phone. I merge back onto the highway while staying connected. Camden becomes my eyes and ears on the ground. She updates me that 2 police officers just arrived. They're talking with Sterling about Kyle's social media posts. I feel relief wash over me that professionals are involved now. But I check my GPS and I'm still 2.5 hours away. Things could still go sideways fast. Camden's voice gets urgent. She says Josh is demanding to see Sky right now. He knows something is wrong. He's getting more agitated about Kyle being there. I tell Camden to have Brianna intercept Josh with some made-up tradition about bad luck seeing the bride. Anything to keep them separated until we stabilize this. Camden says she'll handle it and hangs up. Sky's phone buzzes with a new text. It's the DJ asking to confirm the first dance song. My stomach drops. I texted earlier that it was Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I call Camden back. She answers immediately. I ask what their actual first dance song is. She laughs despite the stress and says it's Thinking Out Loud, also by Ed Sheeran. I was close but wrong. I wonder what else I've messed up today playing Sky. Camden says not to worry about it. She'll fix it with the DJ. I thank her and focus on driving. The highway stretches ahead of me. My phone buzzes with more messages. I ignore them and grip the wheel tighter. I'm doing 85 now. Traffic hits me like a wall. 1 second I'm flying down the highway and the next I'm brake lights everywhere. My GPS recalculates and adds 20 minutes to my arrival. I want to scream. I grab Sky's phone and text Camden with shaking hands. She responds fast, saying the ceremony was supposed to start in 40 minutes, but Brianna told everyone there's a small technical delay with the sound system. I feel a tiny bit of relief that they're buying time. Then the wedding party group chat explodes with a new message. Someone named Jessica posts about getting a weird email at work today from Kyle's company about a server breach. My blood goes ice cold. She says it seemed fake and asks if anyone else got it. Other people chime in saying they saw it too. They're connecting dots. I panic and type as Sky trying to sound casual. I say, yeah, I heard about that. Crazy timing, right? And add a laughing emoji. My hands are sweating so bad I almost dropped the phone. Camden texts me separately saying Sterling just radioed that police made contact with Kyle in the parking lot. They told him his social media posts could be criminal threats. They're strongly suggesting he leave on his own. But Kyle is arguing with them. Camden says he's going on about free speech rights and how he hasn't technically done anything illegal by just showing up to a wedding venue. I'm stuck in traffic watching cars inch forward while this is happening 3 hours away. My phone rings. It's Camden. I answer and she sounds stressed. She's walking fast and I hear background noise. Then suddenly there's shouting, male voices yelling. Camden says, "Oh God," and I hear her running. She's breathing hard into the phone. She tells me Josh just spotted Kyle through a window near the lobby. Josh is trying to get outside. Corey, the best man, is physically holding him back. I can hear the commotion getting louder. Someone's yelling about letting me go and someone else is saying, "Calm down, man." Camden rushes toward the noise while I'm stuck listening from my car feeling completely useless. I cause this by not fixing it faster. Traffic moves forward maybe 10 feet. I grip the wheel so hard my knuckles turn white. Camden comes back on the phone out of breath. She says Corey and 2 groomsmen got Josh into a back hallway, but he's losing it. He wants to go after Kyle. She has to hang up to help. The line goes dead. I sit in traffic staring at my phone. Brianna texts the wedding party group chat with an announcement. She says they're moving the ceremony to a smaller room to create a more intimate setting. She makes it sound like a planned upgrade. But I know what's really happening. She's controlling entry points. Security can set up a barrier. I'm impressed by how fast she's thinking. No panic, no admission of a security threat, just smooth, professional problem solving. My phone buzzes with a screenshot from Camden. Kyle posted a new video. He's live on social media from the parking lot. I watch with my stomach in knots. He's filming himself talking about stopping a mistake. He says truths need to be told. He looks right at the camera with this intense expression. I screenshot everything and forward it to Sterling and the police. This is evidence of his intent to disrupt. Maybe it's enough to get him removed completely. Traffic finally starts moving again. I'm doing 70 now, trying to make up time. My phone buzzes with another update from Camden. She says one of the officers walked up to Kyle during his live video. You can hear the cop in the background on Kyle's feed. The officer asks him to end the recording and step away from the venue entrance. Kyle gets mouthy. He starts talking about his rights and property and free speech. The officer stays calm. He explains Kyle is on private property. The owners are requesting he leave or they'll press trespassing charges. I'm listening to this secondhand through Camden's texts while trying to focus on driving. Then traffic hits again. Complete stop. I seriously consider taking the shoulder, but I can't help anyone if I get pulled over or cause an accident. I force myself to breathe. I use the time to text Sky's dad from her phone. I keep it short and happy. I type running a bit behind Dad. Love you. Can't wait for our moment together. Everything's perfect. I add a heart emoji. He responds immediately with a crying face emoji and says, his little girl. I feel guilty lying to him, but what else can I do? Camden calls me again. Her voice is different now. Quieter. She says Sky is crying in the back room. She's overwhelmed by Kyle showing up despite everything we tried. She's terrified Josh is going to get arrested for assault if they cross paths. Camden says Sky keeps saying this is all her fault. I feel the weight of this stranger's wedding day pressing down on my shoulders. I'm just some random guy who picked up the wrong phone. Maybe I should have stayed out of it. Let them handle their own drama. But I'm in it now. Traffic moves forward again. I check my GPS, still over an hour away. My phone buzzes with the update I've been waiting for. Sterling texts the group that police issued Kyle a formal trespass warning. They explained he needs to leave the property immediately. If he returns, he'll be arrested. Camden sends me a video clip. Kyle is getting in his car. He's still filming himself, playing victim, talking about being silenced and kept from the truth. But he's leaving. His car pulls out of the parking lot. I watch him drive away on the shaky phone video. Relief floods through me. He's actually gone. But my relief doesn't last long because my phone buzzes with a new text from Brianna. She's asking about the special surprise I confirmed earlier and needs final details for timing. I stare at the message with my stomach sinking because I have absolutely no idea what she's talking about. I text Camden directly and admit I just said yes to everything without knowing what the surprise actually was. She responds with a laughing emoji despite everything going on and explains it's a private vow moment between Sky and her dad right before they walk down the aisle. It's supposed to happen in a side room with just the two of them for 5 minutes. I feel even worse now about how much I've been faking as Sky all day. I text Brianna back with the details Camden gave me, and she confirms she'll set it up in the small chapel room. Traffic suddenly breaks up ahead of me, and cars start moving at normal speed again. I press the gas and get up to 70, weaving between lanes to make up lost time. My GPS recalculates and shows 90 minutes until arrival. Camden texts that the ceremony start time has been pushed back 2 hours from the original schedule. Brianna announced to guests that there's a small delay with final preparations, and the timeline is being adjusted. Camden says people are getting a little restless, but the open bar is doing its job, and most guests seem happy to keep drinking and socializing. She sends me a photo of the reception area, and it looks beautiful with white flowers everywhere and fancy table settings. Brianna is apparently handling guest questions like a total pro without letting anyone know the real reason for the delay. My phone rings and it's Camden calling instead of texting. I answer on speaker and she sounds relieved. She tells me Josh finally calmed down after Corey and some of the groomsmen spent 20 minutes talking him through everything. They convinced him the best revenge on Kyle is having a perfect wedding and not letting him ruin this day. Josh agreed to stay in a separate room away from the main areas and trust that security and police have the situation under control. Camden says it feels like a huge win because Josh was seriously ready to go find a weapon and wait for Kyle in the parking lot. I tell her that's amazing news and ask if she thinks Josh will actually stay put. She says Corey is with him, and they're playing video games in the groom's suite to keep him distracted. I merge into the fast lane and keep my speed steady while checking my mirrors for cops. Another text comes through and this one makes my stomach drop again. It's from Brianna saying the makeup artist I canceled earlier apparently drove all the way to the venue anyway. She's in the lobby right now demanding payment for her time and travel. I groan out loud because this is a direct consequence of my decision to cancel her without really thinking it through. I text Camden asking what's happening and she says Brianna is handling it. 5 minutes later, Brianna texts that she negotiated a reduced fee for the miscommunication and the makeup artist accepted and left. I make a mental note that every choice I made today as fake Sky has had real effects on real people's time and money. I'm making good progress on the highway when my phone buzzes with an urgent text from Sterling. He's radioing that Kyle's car was just spotted doing a slow drive-by on the access road near the venue. Police are heading back out to intercept him. My hands grip the steering wheel harder, and my anxiety spikes all over again. This guy clearly isn't giving up no matter what anyone says or does. I'm scared he's going to force some kind of confrontation that ends with someone getting hurt or arrested. Camden texts asking if I saw Sterling's update, and I tell her yes. She says everyone at the venue is on high alert again, and security is watching all the entry points. I check my GPS and I'm still over an hour away. I feel completely useless being this far when things might be about to explode. My phone keeps buzzing with updates as I drive. Sterling radios that police caught up to Kyle on the access road, and they're having a longer conversation with him. I'm holding my breath, waiting to hear what happens. Finally, Camden texts that police are following Kyle all the way to the main road to make sure he actually leaves the area for real this time. One officer is staying behind at the venue as a safety measure. Sterling is posting security guards at every single entry point with Kyle's photo, so everyone knows to watch for him. They're creating a full perimeter around the property. I exhale hard and feel my shoulders relax a little. This finally feels like actual security, instead of just hoping Kyle stays away. My phone buzzes again, but this time it's a different kind of message. Sky is texting me directly through Camden's phone. She thanks me for everything I've done today and says she can't believe a complete stranger has been saving her wedding. Reading her words makes me feel emotional in a way I didn't expect. I realize I'm actually invested in making sure this works out for her and Josh. I want their day to be perfect after all this chaos. I text back that I'm glad I could help and I'm almost there. She responds with heart emojis and says she's going to find a way to thank me properly. I suggest we figure that out after the wedding actually happens. Camden texts me separately with a new idea. She says we should set up a simple system for communication while I'm still driving, and she's managing things on the ground. She'll text me green light if something needs my immediate attention. Yellow light means she needs advice, but it's not urgent. Red light means I need to call right away no matter what. I tell her it feels a little silly, but it actually makes sense. It'll help us talk more efficiently without me having to read through long explanations while I'm driving. She sends back a green light emoji and says, "We're good for now. Traffic is moving smoothly and I'm making excellent time. The venue is less than an hour away now." Another text comes through from Audrey. She's asking where her daughter is and why she hasn't seen her yet. I forward the message to Camden and tell her this needs handling in person. Camden texts back that she's going to physically bring Audrey to Sky's room so they can be together. A few minutes later, she reports that Audrey cried when she saw Sky was okay. They're having mother-daughter time right now doing wedding prep stuff together. Camden sends me a photo of them hugging and smiling. It makes me genuinely happy to see despite everything else that's falling apart around this wedding. I'm starting to feel like maybe this is actually going to work out. Then my phone buzzes with another problem. The photographer is texting that he's getting really impatient about the timeline. He has another booking later today, and he's threatening to leave if things don't start soon. I text Camden with yellow light and explain the situation. She loops in Brianna, who apparently works magic with vendors. Brianna negotiates a revised schedule with extended time and offers an increased fee to keep him there. The photographer agrees to stay. I realize how many people are being affected by my decision to drive out here instead of just letting everything fall apart. Every vendor had a schedule. Every guest had plans. I changed all of that by getting involved. I hope it was the right call. My phone buzzes with Camden's text showing a yellow light emoji. I glance down while keeping one hand on the wheel. She explains Josh is asking to do a quick phone call with Sky because he's getting really worried and suspicious about why she's been so hard to reach all day. My stomach drops. Sky can't take his call without her phone, and I definitely can't pretend to be her on a voice call with her fiancé. That's a line I absolutely cannot cross. I text back frantically that there's no way I can fake being Sky on an actual phone conversation with Josh. Camden responds within seconds with a brilliant idea. She says she can have Sky record a short voice message on her bridesmaid's phone. Sky can say she's overwhelmed and emotional, and her voice is shaky, but she loves him and can't wait to marry him, and everything's going to be perfect. I tell Camden to do it immediately. 5 minutes pass while I'm driving and staring at my phone waiting for an update. Finally, Camden texts back that Josh listened to the message, and he seems at peace now. He told Camden he just needed to hear Sky's voice and know she was okay. I exhale for the first time in what feels like miles. The GPS shows I'm getting close to my exit. I'm focused on Camden's last text when I almost miss the turn completely. My car swerves at the last second, and I make it onto the exit ramp, but my heart is racing from the close call. That was stupid and dangerous. I need to focus on driving safely and not cause an accident after everything I've done today. I silence all the non-urgent notifications on both phones. I text Camden that I'm going dark for the final 30 minutes so I can just get there in one piece. She sends back a thumbs up and tells me to drive safe. The road ahead is clear and I push the speed limit but stay reasonable. My hands grip the wheel tight. I keep thinking about meeting all these people whose lives I've been managing from a distance. The venue finally comes into view, and I feel this surge of energy mixed with nervousness. I'm actually here after managing everything remotely for hours. I pull into the back parking lot like Camden instructed earlier. I grab both phones and text Camden that I've arrived. She responds within seconds, telling me to meet her at the side entrance by the kitchen, and she'll bring me to Brianna's office. I walk around the building looking for the side door. Camden appears before I even reach it. She gives me a quick hug like we're old friends, which feels completely surreal, given we only started talking 2 hours ago. She's shorter than I imagined and wearing a dark blue bridesmaid dress. She walks fast through back hallways, and I follow her past kitchen staff and storage rooms. She explains that Brianna wants to meet me before we do the phone swap with Sky, since I've technically been impersonating her client all day. We reach an office door and Camden knocks twice before opening it. Brianna is sitting at a desk looking at a tablet. She's maybe 40 with her hair pulled back and she's wearing a headset around her neck. Camden explains everything quickly while Brianna listens without interrupting. When Camden finishes, Brianna looks at me and says she's seen crazier wedding day problems. She actually seems impressed that I was trying to help rather than cause harm. But then her expression gets more serious. She talks to me about the risks of impersonation and how what I did today could have gone very wrong. She suggests I be really careful about that IT email thing because Kyle's company could pursue legal action if they wanted to. I apologize and explain I was just trying to help. Brianna nods and says she understands, but I need to be aware of the consequences. The door opens and Sterling walks in. He's tall and wearing a security uniform with a radio clipped to his belt. He confirms that Kyle hasn't returned to the property, and police did a final sweep of the whole area. One officer is staying posted at the main entrance just in case. Sterling looks at me and thanks me for providing the early warning and all the documentation about Kyle. He says it let them get ahead of the threat instead of reacting after something violent happened. That makes me feel a bit better about my choices today. Camden tells me it's time to meet Sky. We leave Brianna's office and walk down another hallway. I feel incredibly awkward about meeting this woman whose life I've been managing for hours. We stop at a door and Camden opens it. Sky is standing there in her wedding dress looking beautiful but stressed. Her makeup is done and her hair is perfect, but her eyes are red like she's been crying. When she sees me, she immediately tears up again. She walks over and hugs me tight. She thanks me over and over for saving her day. She keeps saying she can't believe a complete stranger did all this for her. I feel emotional too, but I try to stay calm. We finally swap phones. I hand her the rose gold case and she gives me back my black phone. It feels weird giving up her digital life after being so deep in it. Sky immediately starts texting on her own phone. I can see her thumbs flying as she messages her family and Josh directly. The relief on her face is obvious. She's communicating as herself again instead of through me. There's a knock on the door. A police officer steps in and asks to speak with me. My stomach tightens. He explains that while the IT email I sent to Kyle's company wasn't technically illegal, it was ethically questionable. He uses words like harassment and interference. I apologize immediately and explain I was desperate to stall Kyle and keep him away from the venue. The officer listens and then says they're not pursuing charges given the circumstances and my cooperation with everything today. But he makes it clear this is a warning. I need to understand that my actions could have had serious legal consequences. I tell him I understand completely and I won't do anything like that again. The officer leaves and Brianna walks over to me. She tells me the ceremony is starting in 20 minutes. Sky asked if I want to stay and watch since I've been so involved in making it happen. I feel weird about it. Part of me thinks I should just leave now that the crisis is over. But another part of me really wants to see how this all ends after spending hours living inside this wedding day. Brianna smiles and says I'm welcome to stay as her guest. I nod and say yes. Camden appears from around the corner and Brianna tells her to find me a good spot. Camden grabs my arm and pulls me through the hallway. We walk past the main ballroom toward the smaller ceremony room. She brings me to a spot near the kitchen entrance where I can see everything, but I'm not in the way of family and friends. Camden squeezes my hand tight and thanks me again for everything. Then she rushes off to take her place as maid of honor. I stand there alone, feeling like I'm crashing someone's wedding even though I was invited. Guests start filing into the room. I recognize some faces from the photos I saw on Sky's phone. The room fills up quickly. Music starts playing softly through the speakers. The smaller room actually looks really nice. White chairs in neat rows, flowers on stands at the front, simple decorations that feel personal instead of fancy. The intimacy of it makes everything feel more real and meaningful than some huge ballroom would have been. I watch as the wedding party lines up outside the door. Camden stands at the front looking nervous but excited. The music changes to something slower. Everyone stands up. A side door opens and Sky walks out with her dad. They stop just inside the doorway. Her dad leans in close and they have a private moment together. I can't hear what they're saying, but I can see them both crying. He kisses her forehead. She wipes her eyes carefully so she doesn't mess up her makeup. That must be the special surprise I confirmed earlier without knowing what it was. A private father-daughter vow moment before walking down the aisle. I feel good knowing I didn't accidentally ruin that for them. They start walking together slowly. Sky looks beautiful in her dress. Her dad looks proud and emotional. Every step toward the front feels important. Josh stands at the altar waiting. When he first sees Sky coming toward him, his whole face changes. Pure love and relief wash over him. His eyes get watery. He mouths something to her that I can't make out. Sky smiles at him through her own tears. Her dad brings her to the front and shakes Josh's hand. Then he hugs Sky one more time before sitting down. The officiant begins talking. I don't catch all the words because I'm focused on watching Josh and Sky looking at each other. They hold hands and can't stop smiling. The officiant keeps it short and simple. No long speeches or complicated traditions. Just two people getting married. When the officiant gets to the speak now or forever hold your peace part, my stomach tightens. There's just peaceful silence. No Kyle, no interruption, no drama, just quiet respect from everyone in the room. I exhale slowly. They exchange rings. Josh's hands shake a little as he slides the ring onto Sky's finger. They say their vows. Personal ones they wrote themselves. I hear bits about choosing each other every day and building a life together and being each other's home. Sky cries through most of her vows. Josh keeps it together until the very end when his voice cracks. The officiant announces them married. The room explodes with cheers and applause. Everyone stands up clapping. I find myself clapping too, genuinely happy for these complete strangers whose wedding day I accidentally became part of in the weirdest possible way. Josh kisses Sky and everyone cheers louder. They walk back down the aisle together, holding hands and grinning. Guests throw flower petals as they pass. The whole thing took maybe 20 minutes, but it felt perfect. They exit through the main door and everyone starts moving toward the cocktail area. Music starts playing for the reception. The DJ announces the first dance. Josh and Sky walk onto the small dance floor. Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran starts playing. I'm relieved I at least got the artist right when I guessed earlier, even though I picked the wrong song. Watching them dance together, I think about how many tiny decisions and coordinated efforts went into making this moment happen. The phone swap, the texts, the fake IT email, calling the venue, coordinating with Camden and Brianna and Sterling, the police showing up, Kyle being forced to leave. All of it led to this dance where they look completely happy and safe. Camden finds me during cocktail hour. She insists I stay for dinner and cake. Sky wants to properly thank me and introduce me to her family. I tell her I should probably go. Camden won't take no for an answer. She's really good at being persuasive. Plus, I'm honestly curious to meet the people whose texts I've been reading and responding to all day. I follow her to where Sky and Josh are standing with family. Sky sees me coming and walks over immediately. She introduces me to her parents. Her dad starts crying again, thanking me for helping protect his daughter's day. He keeps shaking my hand and saying he can't believe what I did. Her mom, Audrey, hugs me tight. She says she can't believe a stranger would go to such lengths for someone he'd never met. I try to explain I just couldn't stand by and do nothing when she asked for help. It felt like the right thing to do, even if it was risky. Josh comes over and shakes my hand. He apologizes for all the chaos. He knows his history with Kyle created a dangerous situation. He's grateful I helped keep everyone safe. He admits he would have done something really stupid if Kyle had gotten inside. Having police and security there prevented him from making the biggest mistake of his life. I can see in his eyes he means it. The anger and violence that were threatening earlier are completely gone now. He just looks relieved and grateful. Brianna walks over and pulls me aside while the family keeps celebrating. She tells me the IT email issue is resolved. Apparently, Kyle's company filtered most of the messages as spam. The few that got through were quickly spotted as fake by their actual IT department. She says I got really lucky that my quick plan didn't create bigger problems. I should probably avoid playing digital hero in the future. I agree completely. The whole thing could have gone so much worse. I got away with stuff I probably shouldn't have done. But looking around at this wedding reception with everyone happy and safe, I can't bring myself to regret any of it. Camden points me toward a table near the dance floor, where some of her friends are sitting. I slide into an empty chair and immediately someone asks how I know the couple. I give them the short version about accidentally swapping phones with the bride at Starbucks this morning and then spending the whole day managing her wedding crisis from 3 hours away. Their faces go from confused to shocked to amazed as I explain the texts, the ex showing up, the fake IT email, and finally driving here to help in person. One woman keeps saying it sounds like a movie plot and everyone agrees. I laugh because even sitting here at the actual wedding, it still doesn't feel completely real. The whole day has this weird dream quality where I keep expecting to wake up back at Starbucks with my own phone. Dinner gets served and I realize I haven't eaten since breakfast. The food is really good and I'm starving after all the stress and driving. People at my table keep asking questions about different parts of the story, and I find myself enjoying telling it. The cake sits on a table near the front, and I can see Sky and Josh laughing with their families. The DJ announces it's time for toasts and everyone quiets down. The best man goes first with some funny stories about Josh. Then Camden stands up with her glass and my stomach does a weird flip. She talks about Sky being her best friend since college and how happy she is to see her marry someone who treats her right. Then she says something about an unexpected hero who went above and beyond today without naming me specifically. But she looks right at me while she says it and mouths thank you. Several people at nearby tables glance my way looking curious. I feel my face get hot and I want to disappear under the table. But I'm also weirdly proud of what we all pulled off together. The whole room claps and Camden sits back down. She catches my eye and grins. I shake my head at her, but I'm smiling too. After the toasts, Sky and Josh cut their cake. They do that thing where they feed each other and Josh gets frosting on her nose on purpose. Everyone laughs and cheers. The whole atmosphere feels joyful and relaxed now that the threat is completely gone. I pull out my own phone for the first time in hours, and the screen explodes with notifications. Dozens of missed messages from friends wondering where I disappeared to. My group chat is full of people asking if I'm okay and why I'm not responding. I send a quick message saying I had a crazy day and I'll explain later. Someone replies immediately asking if I'm all right. I type back that I'm fine, just helped a stranger with an emergency. That gets a bunch of confused reactions, but I don't have energy to explain right now. The reception starts winding down and people begin leaving. I'm gathering my stuff to go when Sky finds me. She hands me a card, and when I open it, there's a gift certificate to a really nice restaurant downtown. She says it's the least she can do to thank me. I try to say it's too much, but she won't hear it. She also writes down her actual contact info on a napkin and tells me if I ever need anything, I should reach out. She says she owes me more than she can repay. I don't know what to say, so I just hug her and tell her I'm glad everything worked out. Josh comes over and shakes my hand again. They both look so happy and relieved. I feel good knowing I helped make that possible. Camden walks me out to my car in the parking lot. We exchange numbers and joke that we make a good crisis management team. She pulls up her phone and shows me that Kyle posted a long, bitter rant on social media about being excluded from the wedding. He's going on about how nobody wanted to hear the truth and everyone turned their backs on him. But the comments are mostly negative. People are telling him to move on and stop being dramatic. Someone wrote that showing up uninvited to your ex's wedding is creepy, not romantic. Another person said he needs therapy. Camden and I read through them and it feels like justice. All his attempts to ruin the day failed and now he just looks pathetic online. I tell Camden to screenshot everything in case they need it later. She agrees and says she'll make sure Sky and Josh have copies. The drive home takes almost 3 hours because of late-night traffic. I have a lot of time to think about everything that happened. I helped 2 people start their marriage without violence or trauma hanging over it. That feels important and good. But the ethical lines I crossed still bother me. The fake IT email could have gotten me in serious trouble. Pretending to be Sky all day and texting her family and vendors was technically identity theft. Reading through all her private messages and managing her personal relationships without permission crossed major boundaries. But looking at the alternative where Kyle disrupted the ceremony and Josh maybe attacked him with a baseball bat, I genuinely believe the outcome justified the questionable methods. Sometimes doing the right thing means breaking rules. I'm not sure if that makes me a good person or just someone who got lucky that everything worked out. I wake up the next morning to my phone buzzing. It's a text from Sky with several photos attached from the wedding. There's one of her and Josh looking incredibly happy during their first dance, another of her laughing with her bridesmaids, one of the whole wedding party together. She writes that they're about to leave for their honeymoon, but she wanted me to know how much my help meant. She says they're starting their marriage with gratitude for the kindness of a stranger. That makes me tear up a little bit. I text back congratulations and wishes for a great honeymoon. Then I get up and make coffee and try to process that yesterday actually happened. My phone rings around noon, and it's the police officer who warned me about the IT email yesterday. My heart jumps thinking I'm in trouble. But he says he's calling to confirm that Kyle's company decided not to pursue any action and the matter is closed. Apparently their IT department figured out pretty quickly that the email was fake, and they decided it wasn't worth investigating further. The officer says I got extremely lucky, and I should learn from this experience about the risks of digital impersonation, even with good intentions. He's nice about it, but firm. I tell him I absolutely understand and I won't do anything like that again. He says good and wishes me well. After I hang up, I feel relieved, but also aware of how badly things could have gone. A few days pass, and I'm back to normal life. Then Camden texts me saying she and Sky want to take me out to dinner next weekend to properly celebrate and thank me. I agree because I've realized these people have become part of my story now. It's weird how one random day connected me to complete strangers in such an intense way. We make plans for Saturday night at a restaurant near downtown. Camden says Sky and Josh will be back from their honeymoon by then. I'm looking forward to hearing about their trip and getting to know them as real people instead of just crisis contacts in my phone. A week later, I'm back at the same Starbucks where this whole thing started. I sit at my usual table and pull out my phone. Before I zone out scrolling, I triple-check that the phone in my hands is actually mine. Black case, not rose gold. My lock screen, not someone else's. I laugh at myself for being paranoid, but after what happened, I'm never taking phone security for granted again. I think about how one random moment of swapped phones led to the wildest day of my life. How I ended up managing a stranger's wedding crisis and helping stop her ex from ruining everything. How I broke laws and crossed ethical lines but maybe saved people from violence and trauma. Sometimes helping strangers means taking risks and trusting your instincts, even when the right choice isn't perfectly clear. I don't know if I'd do it again the same way, but I'm glad I did it. Well, that's another story nobody asked for, but here we are. If you made it this far, you clearly enjoy pain or bad decisions. Either way, I respect it. Subscribe and let's keep lowering the bar together.